Welcome to It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. What is it? It's everything. Everything you want in life starts with courage.
All right, people, today's episode is about living in the moment.
Yes, or failing to be in the moment, not even living in the moment, because I think so many of us fail to be in the moment. Perfect example for you. So, I went away, was it last week now? Not last week,
like
last
3
month.
weeks ago.
Yeah. And I went out to the mountains to do a little bit of hiking, be present, be one with nature. And I found myself failing. So on one night, we went to watch some elk fighting. And, they come out at dusk. Wait, is dusk the night one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. And it's supposed to be like the male elk herds these females and basically shows how macho he is by fighting off all other suitors who want to mate with these females. And there was everyone else who would obviously come to watch this, and we all had our phones out. People had those cameras with like the big zoom in lenses and whatnot. And then there was a family of Mennonites. And what I saw is a lot of us were watching the elk fighting through our phones. We actually weren't looking at the fight. We were looking to see if we're capturing the right images, the right video. And this family watched us. They watched the elk and they watched us. Afterwards, they walked away. And I thought about it. When they go home, they're going to remember being together. It's going to be about the togetherness of it. Do you remember when we saw this? Whereas for most of us, when we go on trips, we look back when we come home at pictures and say, oh, I wish I was there. Remember when I did that? But you actually weren't in the moment because you were so busy trying to capture the moment that when you get back to your regular life, one, you're not in the moment in your regular life because you've got all these images to look back at and wish you were somewhere else rather than where you are. And there was a time you went to Mexico.
Yes, I need to tell this story.
Yes.
So I went to Mexico a couple months ago, and I was at a resort, and I was out by the pool, and I was just kind of hanging out, laying out by the pool, and there's these 3 girls across the pool, and they were gorgeous. They were fit. They had on these little swimsuits. They were like, wow, like they were good-looking girls. They were, had great bodies.
Yeah.
And they were out at the pool, and they had, like, the whole time they were out there, they were having mini photo sessions of each other. And they were, like, sitting and posing different ways. And, their hair, like, one would move the other one's hair and take a different angle. And, like, literally, like, one would take 50 pictures of the other one, and then they would switch places, and the one that wasn't like in either taking the photos, she'd be over off of the side editing the photos, putting filters on and all of this. And I'm like, guys, like, just like, there's a beautiful beach here, there's a perfect pool, like, just be in the moment together instead of like having a Instagram content creation party.
And obviously, I mean, there's nothing, not to say there's nothing wrong with that, but I think now we've come to a place where we go on vacation just to have a photo shoot. It's no longer about enjoying where you are. Or I was speaking to my sister and we're talking about, planning the perfect vacation. Or when you're younger, everyone out there, have you ever had a dream? Something where you're like, I want to buy a house like this. I want to go on this perfect vacation. And you may work hard for some years and get to this place. But when you get to this place and you're in this new home or you're on this perfect vacation, do you acknowledge the journey and realize where you are, that I'm on this vacation, I've wanted my dream vacation, or I'm in this house? Or do you get in this dream house or dream vacation and think, one, what's next, or who can I show this to, or I wish I had done this differently.
That's a quote. I know quotes, but I don't know who said them first. But when I was a freshman in college, when I was playing soccer at Ole Miss, our quote of the season was, "Success is a journey, not a destination." So, and if you talk to a ton of business owners and athletes about, their journey, like, the satisfaction of winning the championship lasts for like 30 minutes.
Right.
Then the people that train that hard and win championships are like, what's next? What's next? They're never really satisfied. But if you're not living in the moment, you're not really understanding that winning the championship and what you're proud of is the actual journey. It's not the end destination.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true.
You have to like I have my teammates. I have a group text with about 20 of my teammates.
Yeah.
From 20 years ago.
Wow.
And so when Ole Miss is playing, we're texting. Anything big happens in our life, we're like have this group text, and we never really talk about the games we won or the championships we won. We talk about preseason training, and the bus rides and the plane rides and the workouts and the 5 a.m.s and all of that.
The memories you made.
The memories you make. That's being in the moment. That's what you're going to remember 20 years later, not the sale you made, the championship you won.
Yes.
It's all about like the person you're becoming during the journey and staying in that moment, not always looking to what's next.
Right, because you rob yourself off of those new memories by not being in the moment. Have you ever had a moment where you've realized, oh my gosh, I'm in the moment I've dreamt about? Or like, do you think you're good at being in the moment? Either one of those two questions.
No, I struggle. I'll be honest. Like, I don't think I struggle like on vacation, like what you were talking about. You won't even know I'm on vacation because I won't post any pictures or anything because my vacation is for me, not for anybody else. So I don't feel the need to really post a lot about what we do on vacation. But my struggle is day to day. Like, I'm a real estate agent and my phone is ringing 24/7 and leads are coming in at all hours of the day and night. And in this culture that we have, like instant gratification, if you don't follow up with somebody immediately, they're going to call somebody else.
Yes.
And so, it's been hard sometimes when I'm like at a game or at the play, or just at home with the family to put the phone down and no, because you're torn between you're working and you're providing for your family, or are you being with your family?
Yeah.
And so I think in some areas I do okay, and then other areas, like that's what I struggle with is like putting my phone down for work and just saying, hey, it's 7:00. We're watching something as a family. We're doing something as a family, and I'm not going to answer that right now.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right on it depends, because for me, I find that when I'm at work, I'm forced to be in the moment. Not by choice, but I'm forced to be in the moment. So a lot of what I'll be doing at work doesn't allow me to play with my phone here and there. Maybe when I get a break, I'll go and use my phone. But I definitely find that like on days off or on vacation, because of Instagram, sometimes I fail to be in the moment because I'm thinking, oh, I could show this, or oh, I could do that. So I definitely fail to be in the moment in my own personal time. But I remember there was a time I was in a car driving, and it was actually here in Baton Rouge. It was over the highway, and I could see the city line. Well, the little that it has. But anyway, it was nighttime drive. And when I was younger, when I was about 8 or 9, I had an uncle, and he used to teach me how to spell Mississippi, and we used to talk about America, all these things. Whenever I'd go to the movies in England, all movies were American. And you know, when the Warner Brothers, whatever that is, every time I'd sit in the movies, I would always feel like when I step out of this movie theater, I'm going to be in America, because obviously I'm watching an American movie. And this one particular night, I'm driving. Well, I wasn't driving, but I'm just looking out the window. And I said to myself, I'm in America. Like, literally, like, I was so proud of that moment, because I thought, wow, like, after all that, just thinking one day I'll be in America. I'm in America, and I've never thought I'm in America, but I'm in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that felt good. That felt good. So I guess next, why is it courageous to be in the moment would be the question, right? The podcast it starts with courage. And I think it's really it's letting go. It's being grateful for where you are and who you're with, and just recognizing that moment, because if you're not in the moment, where are you, right? And I guess I would ask,
I think for me, it's the moment, like experiences and moments are like the things that we're really going to remember.
Yeah.
You know, I know that like one of my greatest experiences is several years ago, I wanted to go to the World Cup finals.
Yeah.
Where I wanted to go to the World Cup, and I told my husband I want to go to the World Cup, and he was like, "Okay, well, who do you want to go with?" And I was like, "I want to take my mom." You know,
Aww.
and my mom's getting a little bit older, but my mom and she followed me around the soccer field my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, she went to every camp, every game, like constantly followed me around. And so I remember, like, for Christmas, like, giving her a card. I'm sure she thought that I was like giving her some money or something for Christmas. And the card said, you know, like, "Hey, for Christmas, I'm taking you to Vancouver, Canada, and we're going to the World Cup together." And
this was the women's, wasn't it? And like, that was, I was around in Canada when that was, we could have met.
So like, we ended up going, like, she was floored. She couldn't believe it. It's like something that I know she would have wanted to do, but would have never like done herself. And so, you know, I took her, I paid for her trip. We ended up going to I gave her a choice, like, do you want to go watch the U.S. play, like, in the rounds, or do you want to go to the finals? They may not be in the final, like, but do you want to take that chance? And she's like, I want to go to the final. So we watched the whole thing, and they were in the finals. We were there. Carly Lloyd scored 3 goals. They won 4-1.
Yeah.
It was such amazing experience. And so, like, when we talk about being in the moment, the experiences are what we're going to remember. Like, I look at that as one of my best trips I've ever taken.
That's
because
amazing.
You know, it's something I got to spend a week with my mom, just me and her, doing something that we both really love.
Yeah.
And I mean, in this week, you know, I was a little slower, or I guess it was last week. A little slower with real estate, trying to take the time when I have the time, and not like worry about being slower, but like embrace being a little bit slower.
Yeah.
And so the Ole Miss team was playing in the SEC tournament, and I was watching it on Sunday. I was like, I'm going to that. I'm driving to Orange Beach. I'm going to that. And so I grabbed my mom and I took her with me. We just spent the day. We drove over there. We watched 3 games. We drove back. And again, it's just another little experience, a little trip that, you know, you're just banking some of those memories and being in the moment with her.
You know, like, it's when you get to the end of life, you know, and I remember speaking to some elderly patients, and they just said, the only thing you really ever think about is, what have I done? What have I experienced in my life? And the only way you're going to have You're going to feel fulfilled by life is by being able to say, when I did this with so-and-so and I did that with so-and-so. Just real quick, a friend of mine shared a story about her mother. Her mom and dad had been married, obviously, for a very long time, and her father had passed away. And when her father passed away, he said, I feel fulfilled with my life. I've done everything I wanted to do. I've experienced everything I wanted to do. I feel good. But she was saying her mom felt very sad about it all. Obviously, her partner passing, and my friend said, when she remembers, her dad would say to her mom, hey, just sit with me. Let's just watch this. Just sit with me. But she was always busy trying to do something, wash the dishes. I need to do that. I need to do this. I need to do that. She never took the time to be still with him or be with him in that moment. And she was just saying, it's interesting that now she feels that her mom feels like she missed the moment. She was married to this guy for 30, 40-odd years, but she missed the moment with him because she was never present in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that powerful?
Yeah. I think what we're just saying is that it takes courage to understand that you may be missing the moment, a clarity or just a self-awareness that, hey, this is one of those life moments.
Yes.
And it could be a big one or just in your daily life.
Yeah.
This is something I need to do better on a daily basis. And it takes courage to take control of your life, recognize the powerful moments and making those memories with your family member, your friends, and just going from there.
Right. And we'll end it with 3 quick tips that will hopefully keep you in the moment. And these are, I suppose you can also look at it, 3 things that would take you away from the moment, and you need to do the opposite of this. Worrying. Stop worrying, because once you start worrying, you're not in the moment. Dwelling on past experiences. If you've experienced something, when we take all those pictures and we're constantly looking back, I did that. Stop living in the past. And at the same time, while you're in that moment, don't plan the next moment, because by doing that, you were missing the moment you had planned for.
Yeah, don't miss the moment.
Don't miss the moment, friends.
Thanks for listening to this episode of It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. If you like this episode of the podcast, visit our website, iswcpodcast.com, for show notes and other cool things.